G'day friends, welcome back. Today we're going to explore Lightroom's new feature, the artificial lens blur. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but we're going to put it through its paces and see what it's best suited for and how best to use it. I've got 4 examples that I'm going to use. One's a shot with me. You've seen it already, it's the thumbnail. The next one will be like a shot of a bear, and then a shot of just like a normal person with an isolated subject, and then we're going to really try and make it mess up, and I've got a shot of a skier coming down a slope. So we're going to see how it does with 3 different kind of images. Let's just jump straight in, shall we? Alright, so with the first image, it's just my thumbnail, and I made sure to take a shot that is kind of isolated, so there's a distinct line between what the subject is and what the background is. Now, I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to hit apply, and okay, that was quick. First of all, it's blurred out the background nicely. You can see there's an amount you can do from minimal to just ridiculous with all of the sliders in Lightroom. Let's just keep it at medium for a second. We've got a bunch of different options as well. This just looks like the circular. This looks like the Helios, kind of the 5-blade, the donut, and the cat eye. Okay, so let's just slide it all the way to the end to just see what it does. And you can tell along the edges that it's picked as best it can, and it's pretty good. But if you look really close, you can see that it's not as rounded as it should be. It's not as smooth as it could be. But I mean, it's done a pretty good job. So you've got the focal range just here, and it allows you to visualize the depth that it's actually working on. With everything here not being affected, and anything in the background, or basically anything purple or pink, is what's actually being used. So it's using different colors to kind of give you a different idea on the depth that it's actually affecting. And there's another button down here called Refine, which I'm sure we're going to get into in the other images. Let's just get rid of that. Let's leave it cranked and move on, I think. We're going to use that as the example of probably what not to do. Alright, so next up we have the bear photo. Now with this image, I wanted just the bear's face in focus and the body and the background to kind of be one and the same. So let's just hit apply and see what happens with this one. And you can see it's blurred out slightly, just a little bit on the back end, which is kind of nice. It's kind of an even spot, but I did notice there was nothing that happened here. So let's check that focal range and just visualize depth and just see where it's at. So you can see on the screen there's that white line, and that's where it's kind of affecting. So as we get closer to the background, it's affecting less and less. And then if we get tighter to the white area, I think that's probably where we want it. Now let's uncheck that. And now see if we crank it a little bit, see what it does. You can see if we zoom in on this bit here, it's taken this bit of fur and the back bit of fur and made it the same thing. Now if I really wanted to, I could go in and brush all of those to make it sound like the background, to make it look like the background. But overall, it's done a pretty good job. I would probably, actually let's just go and do it. We'll go down to the refine section. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with the visualize depth, bring the amount up just a little bit, and the flow so it's a bit stronger. Feathers, maybe up, bring the feather up a little bit, and we're just going to paint in a bit of this section just to make it a little bit more smooth. May as well paint in a bit of this as well because we want to keep the fur nice and sharp there. I also don't like how this is a line, so just slowly and subtly. Alright, take visualize depth off. Let's have a look at it before and after. it's actually done a pretty good job. Kind of like that on. I might bring it down a bit just so it seems realistic. With a bit more work on the end here with other brushes, that'll actually look really nice. Okay, this image I feel like it's really going to struggle with because there is a clear background, but there's also movement and then another foreground. So we've got the subject here, a bit of foreground as well, and a background that disappears off. So I'm not sure how it's going to play on this one, but we'll see how it goes. Just going to hit apply, and it's analyzing. And so far, all it's really blurred out is the actual subject. So it seems like this is the only part that's blurred. Let's hit the visualize depth and see. Yep, so it's blurred out just the sky, which you couldn't tell, and what it assumes is the foreground. So let's change that. You can see it coming back into focus there. And then let's bring that down. So what it's done, it's picked the mountains thinking that they are coming closer when they're actually just one big backdrop. Okay. Let's see if we can not really. It's not gonna. Alright. Let's go visualize depth again, bring it back, and yeah, just like I thought, it hasn't picked up that one feature is the background. It's kind of, it's tough. The mountains are going to be tricky to do. So I don't feel like it works on this kind of image at all. You could probably go down and really brush things in, but I feel like it's kind of lost on this image. So I wouldn't use it on this at all. So let's get rid of that and move on to the next one. Now this is one of my buddies up on top of a mountain. Let's hit apply and just see what it does straight off the bat. I'm hoping it just blows the sky in the background a little bit. Blurred this a little bit, which I kind of like. I feel like if we just did something like this really subtly, it would add something really nice to it. Let's hit the visualize depth and just see what we're affecting. That looks, yeah, it looks pretty good. Just the foreground, the subject, and background's out of focus. With this image though, where there is a distinct part of the image that is in the foreground, background, and obviously sky is the background as well. So it's much easier than the previous ski photography one, which was kind of a mess, really. Let's take the visualize depth off. I feel like with this one, if we were just going to go crazy on it, kind of lose detail in the straps, which you could brush in if you really wanted to. But it makes it look fake. It makes it look like the iPhone cinematic feature or the portrait feature on your iPhone, which I hate to say it, but if you're a photographer, you can tell that was how a photo was taken. So let's bring it down to a subtle amount. Maybe change it to the 5-blade. Seems like the nicest kind of vintage look. That's effective. I like that. That looks natural. So this one probably worked the best. The ski one didn't work at all, but I'm not surprised by that because there's a lot going on. The bear, it worked, but it could use some refining around his little bum and along the hair there, but that's kind of to be expected, honestly. And this was an image I took intentionally to blur it out. So I'm going to crank that right to the end, make a stupid thumbnail out of this, But yeah, kind of run it through its paces a little bit. Now, obviously, I would use this sparingly. I wouldn't crank it like people have done with the texture, the clarity, the contrast, the saturation. It's one of those tools that can easily be abused and detract from your photos. But if used subtly, seems like a really powerful feature. That particular image of me with the camera makes me cringe. But we're going to make a cringy thumbnail for this so that hopefully other people click on it too. I'm going to use this very, very sparingly because it is software, it's not glass. Glass is always going to give you the best depth of field, whereas software is going to kind of assume. But powerful tool, I would use it subtly. Yeah. If you guys enjoyed that video, let me know. If there's something else you want to learn in Lightroom, or something new, or there's something you're not sure about, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and I will try to get to it and give you my personal take on it and how I would use certain features. Yeah. Hope you guys had fun. I'll see you guys next week for another in the field kind of adventure. This one's a bit of a silly one. I filmed it yesterday and yeah, got out of hand. I'll see you then.